Hi, I'm Mrs. Scherg. Welcome to my kitchen. So tonight I'm going to be doing a quick little video on what we're having for dinner in the Scherg house tonight. So I have started by gathering my ingredients, putting my hair up, washing my hands, and cleaning my surfaces. Okay, tonight our menu is breaded baked pork chops or pork tenderloins, and oven baked, and fresh asparagus that I'll be showing you how to do. And also, so those are our fresh ingredients. And then convenience foods tonight, we're doing instant sour cream and chive potatoes, as well as refrigerator biscuits. So I have partly fresh foods and then a part convenience foods tonight. So I've started by preheating my oven for my biscuits and boiling my water for my potatoes. Wash my hands again. So starting with our pork chops, I love these center cut pork chops. They are actually my best kept secret. They are actually from Quick Trip and they're frozen. And you can buy them when they're on sale for $1 a piece, which is super convenient because they're frozen. You bring them home, put them in the freezer, take them out and thaw them in the refrigerator a day before you want to use them. I open the package and then I want to dry them off just to make sure there's no moisture left on them. That's something that I like to do so that it helps the breading stick a little bit better. So pat them dry with a paper towel. Again, remember your meat is raw. So watch your contaminated surfaces. The next thing I'm going to do to get ready for that is to crack 2 eggs and whisk them. And I like to use, for whisking eggs really quickly, I like to use a French whisk. I'm gonna pause that for you. Okay, I have whisked my eggs together until they are nice and frothy, and I'm going to pour them in one bowl. There we go. And in the second bowl, I'm going to be putting, most recipes would call for seasoned breadcrumbs, and my secret is to take a box of stuffing that's already flavored. So we're using Italian and herb stuffing tonight. So I buy a box of stuffing at the store. It's usually less than $1. And I use a food processor and chop it up all nice and fine. So it has all the herbs and spices in there that already taste good. If you're having chicken, you can do the same process. Thaw your meat, dry it, egg dip, and then into your breadcrumbs, or like I have, my finely chopped stuffing mix. And then we're going to place it in a pan to bake in the oven. I like to cover my pan in foil so that way I have less cleanup. So the first thing you'll do is you'll take your meat that's been patted dry, dip it in your egg wash so that it covers the meat fully, and then go ahead and put it right into the breadcrumbs. Your seasoned breadcrumbs, making sure to get all sides, top and bottom, really well. When I do a box of stuffing, I actually, once I have all the breadcrumbs, I divide it in 2. So I put half in a Ziploc bag back in the pantry and half per meal. So 3 people in my household equals 3 nice center cut pork chops. There's 1. Dip them and roll them in this. This is messy. And remember, not only do we have raw meat, we have raw egg. So anything we use here will not be kept. It will all be thrown out after we're done dipping our pork chops. So again, putting all 3 of those through that exact same process. Get lots of crumbs on there. And these are going to be really thick. So we are definitely going to be using a meat thermometer to test for doneness of the internal temperature of the pork chops. Okay, the third one is almost done. And again, I've just used a glass baking dish, lined it with aluminum foil so that my cleanup is easier at the end. Roll them around to make sure to get all the surfaces. You can add a little extra to the top then. Okay, and then anything you have used with the raw meat, so the breadcrumbs, the egg wash, and the plates all get washed immediately, and the food that's in here is not able to be saved because it has touched those raw surfaces. Okay, the pork chops are all breaded and in the pan. The last thing I'm going to do before I put them in is spray them with just a tad bit of cooking spray. It does help browning. You will rotate them once during baking. So I'm putting them in my oven at 400 degrees. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to look at, I've cleaned all my surfaces and put away all my ingredients. These are fresh asparagus. So I ordered these in grocery pickup. So they are probably not what I would have picked out myself. Miss Van Berkel taught me this trick is to take your asparagus. I have already washed it completely and dried it. And the trick she taught me was instead of using a knife to cut the ends and determine where you should cut off from the part that was cut during picking. And this part of asparagus is, the end is really like woody. You can see that it's not very, it does not look very fresh. So you want to always trim that off. And I just used to go along and cut, maybe like an inch off. Miss Van Berkel taught me that actually if you just snap it, it snaps where it's naturally ends that part. So this would be the part that you want to keep all the way up to the top. So make sure to wash that easily first to wash off any contaminants because it is grown in the ground, and then snap. So there's a variety of ways you can prepare fresh asparagus. Sometimes we like it grilled. Sometimes we like it baked. And tonight I am just actually going to parboil it a little bit with some butter and some salt. Oh yeah, there we go. This one broke in two. Actually, both pieces look good. Nice. So there's that. I just have just enough water to cover. I already put in a couple tablespoons of butter. I'm going to reach up here and I'm going to grab some sea salt and just give it a few shakes just in the water as it cooks. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the stove. And my water and butter has started to boil for my cheater potatoes tonight. So the next directions for my potatoes from the package tell us to add 3/4 cup of milk, so I'm going to go ahead and add 3/4 cup. Good. And then stir in my potatoes. And you'll want to use something to stir these in that the liquid can pass through. So be it a slotted spoon, a fork. Okay. So then you go ahead and add that, get it all mixed up. Make sure those flakes are all dissolved. And it will be pretty runny because the dehydrated potato flakes do need time to rehydrate. So the directions then do tell you to cover and let them sit for about 5 minutes. Okay, first thing done and out of the oven is my refrigerator buttermilk biscuits. So I'm just going to unwrap a little bit of butter, rub it on the top of each one. And that's the first part. My instant potatoes have finished resting and I've added cheese to them as well. They will be perfectly delicious. I'm going to put the lid back on to keep some of that heat in there until the rest is ready. Next, my asparagus is perfectly done. Like I said, there are a variety of methods. You can grill it, bake it. You can also parboil it. I like it just to be just enough to be slightly tender. Bright green, beautiful spears of asparagus. And lastly, my pork chops are out of the oven and I've chosen the thickest part of them to go ahead and check. I'm over 160 degrees, or I was when it was in the pork chop. You can go ahead and just stick your meat thermometer directly into the middle. Easy way just to double check that you have things thoroughly cooked through. So 160 degrees for pork, and that is the largest pork chop, so we're just double checking that one. And there we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at our meal. So we have baked breaded pork chops, fresh asparagus, ooh, lots of cheese on there, cheesy sour cream with chives mashed potatoes, and a buttermilk biscuit. Thanks for joining us for dinner.